Hey everybody, hope everyone can hear me. Hope you all are doing well and welcome to today's webinar. Thank you for taking time from your busy schedule to join us. I'm Christine Maitland from the marketing team here at Azuga. In this webinar, we will be talking about the scheduled maintenance. We are very excited to welcome Nick Mora as our presenter. Nick is a sales engineer here at Azuga and has been with the company since March 2017. He is based out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and he loves being outdoors. Some of his hobbies are fishing, hunting, riding a motorcycle, and he is also a veteran of the U.S. Navy. He also has a long-term girlfriend who he lives with and has a really great dog named Lou. We will be taking questions at the end of the webinar, so please utilize the question button on the right-hand side of the meeting window to send any questions or anything that you are curious about. We will be answering your questions at the end. Nick, all yours now.
All right. Hey, welcome everybody. Good morning. Again, Christine, thank you for the introduction. My name is Nick Mora, sales engineer here at Azuga, and today we're going to be talking about scheduled maintenance. Doesn't always sound like the most exciting subject, but it's something that can be really important for any fleet. As we go through, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the question box. We'll get to them right at the end of this. Should be pretty brief today, so thank you for your time. So really, when we're talking about maintenance, reducing cost is a huge challenge for any fleet. We've got things that are always going to be fixed costs, things that are going to be expensive. Fuel and labor, for instance, are among the biggest costs in any fleet, and they're also some of the hardest to control. Obviously, job flows or the cost of gas every day can be something that none of us can control. What we can do is control how much fuel we're using on our vehicles. Scheduled maintenance, properly maintained vehicles are more efficient vehicles. They burn less fuel and they will cost less to repair down the road. One of those keys is finding problems before they become big issues. When we're talking about repairs, we're talking about things that cost a fleet money. One of the things that can be important is making sure that we identify key issues before they become costly repairs. For instance, Azuga's GPS devices, since they're plugged into the computer brain of the vehicle, they allow access to things like engine trouble codes or check engine lights, things that oftentimes drivers tend to ignore. The check engine light in the dash is, something that all of us have seen go for months and months at a time, but, something that might be a $200 to $300 fix or maybe a $20 sensor today can cost many thousands of dollars down the road if it becomes an issue that is something that we can't take care of very quickly. You have the opportunity when you have awareness of things like check engine lights and warning codes to decide whether or not you want to pull a vehicle off the road to get it into the shop now, or it can wait till the end of the day, end of the week, or end of the month. And another very important part of maintaining a fleet is going to be making sure that vehicles are kept up the way they should be. Schedule maintenance, things like your oil changes, your tire rotation, ensuring that parts are lubed correctly is something that can be difficult to keep track of for any fleet. Making sure these things are maintained reduces downtime for vehicles. It's also going to avoid costly repairs in the future, and it's going to give you eyes on parts of vehicles that may not be seen on a regular basis. So as far as Azuga maintenance goes, one thing that we've done is we built a scheduled maintenance platform into our Azuga user interface. Very easy and affordable way to track not just scheduled maintenance, but also repairs on your vehicles. You're going to be able to keep track of things like warranty information, invoices, cost of repairs. That way they can be tracked over time. It's also going to give you an ability to keep a detailed service history for all of your vehicles. Detailed service history is a great way to, increase resale value down the road as you go, and you may be selling those vehicles down the road. Any of the features that I show as part of the scheduled maintenance platform on Azuga, they're included as an add-on feature in the Azuga UI at $2.99 per vehicle per month. And that's it for my slide. So give me 1 second here, I'm going to switch screens so I can show you guys what the maintenance platform looks like. All right. Those of you who are familiar with Azuga's user interface know this is the landing page. Anytime that the maintenance features are enabled on the Azuga UI, we're going to see that right here on the maintenance tab. Just by clicking on that tab, we can see the options that are available. The landing page first is going to be the maintenance dashboard. What this is going to show you at any time is whether you have upcoming service due on any of your vehicles, and also whether or not you have any overdue services. As you can see, we've got a few that aren't being kept up quite as well as they should be. We can see maintenance by time. We can schedule it by time, so things like days, weeks, months. We can do it by mileage, and we can also do it by engine hours. It also allows you to have a combination of all three. A great example of that would be the old 3 months or 3,000 miles for an oil change. Certain equipment, you will need to do it by engine hours as well, so we have that ability there. Very easy to do. If we're going to be adding things like a maintenance reminder to a particular vehicle, we can just click on the Add Maintenance Reminder button. What that does is allows us to then give a drop down here. We can see what kind of standard maintenance alert, because one of the things we're going to set up here is going to be an alert with each one of those maintenance options. So we can do something here like just choosing any particular vehicle. We can put whether or not we want to alert on that. So when we want that interval to come due, decide who you want those reminders to go to, whether it's an admin or a particular driver, to make sure that that's taken care of. We can also use some of the defaults like the group admins or right there. From here, we can select the service types that we want to do. There's many that are already in here available. We can also add custom services if there's something that is not met by the options that you see here. So I'll use an oil change as an example. If we were going to do one at 5,000 miles, I can check the box here, 3 months. And usually I'm not going to use engine run time or engine hours for this one. So I can set the last service date. This is important because if the vehicle was in for service a week ago, I can still add that reminder, and Azuga is going to use the mileages that are in the system and the time in order to compensate for the next one. We can have our reminders come out at intervals that we prescribe here as well. So we can have the amount of days before service times needed, miles, or engine hours in that sense. Another thing that's very easy to do off of the dashboard here is actually to add service entries. So now that we've got our vehicle that we've got an alert on and we've got it into the shop to get service, we can select that same vehicle here. We can select the category. If this was a scheduled maintenance, this may have been a repair that had to come or something that wasn't expected as well. So we can set that scheduled maintenance, for instance. We can add the service cost if we are subbing that out to a different shop, or maybe there's parts involved in that cost, we can include that here. Any of the services that are performed, we can do that. So for instance, an oil change again. If we add a service center or an invoice number we want to include, we can. The other thing we can do here is actually upload documents. This allows us to upload things like warranty cards or invoices so that we can have a really detailed record there and keep all of our documents in one place. The system does allow for the uploading of multiple service entries, so if we're catching up or adding things that were done in the past and we want to include those in here, we can do that as well. The great thing is that when we have this box checked here to reset the last service date, now that I've done an oil change on this vehicle, when I select to save that service entry, it's going to automatically reset the clock for mileage, engine hours, or for time. That way we can have it set up for the next time without having to set a new reminder in the system. Our service entries, we're going to be able to see them in this tab as well. We do get reporting on them as well, so we can see all the service entries that are done here by time. We can see each one of them, when they happened, and where they occurred, and which vehicles they occurred on as well. If we have reminders that are in the system coming up, we can see all of those right here. Anything that's coming up so we can get ahead of the maintenance curve can always be very difficult to do so. The service histories of a vehicle. Now, if we're looking to, for instance, want to make sure that we've kept up the service on a particular vehicle over the last few months, very easy to do. You select an interval of time, and we can select the vehicle here. And we can decide what categories, if there's any particular ones that we want to see, whether it's repairs, scheduled or unscheduled maintenance, and we can generate a report based on that to see all of the services that have been included on those vehicles. As with most things in Azuga, when we have a chart, they're easily exportable to PDF or to Excel for your records, or to send to another if you need to. We can also see scheduled maintenance reports, and then we can manage alerts too as well. The other part of it is being able to see when alerts have come so that we can know whether or not somebody missed an alert, or for instance, if we want to know whether an alert was sent on a particular event. As far as maintenance goes, that's about all to show on that part of the portal. The great part about this is it's going to allow you an opportunity to have all of your maintenance, scheduled maintenance, and even unscheduled maintenance in one place. Giving you the ability to see all of your costs and be able to report on them as well for your records.
Thank you so much, Nick. Just let me check if we have any questions. Okay, so it doesn't look like we have anything. Oh, wait, there we see something. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so Nick, I think we have a question for you.
Okay.
So this is from Dale. He says, can oil life used percentage be monitored and reported on?
So, and I'm trying to get specific on this one. So we're looking at maybe like the oil life percentage if the vehicle reports it to the computer. Is that correct?
I think that's what he's asking.
Okay. Good. Just making sure. So in this case, generally, we do not get that information through the vehicle bus. As far as the oil life percentage, I've never seen any reporting done on that one yet. It could easily be figured out based on a factor of how much time there is until the next oil change based on that part of it, though.
Okay. There's another question from Carmen. She's asking, can we put our forklifts on the schedule?
Yes, absolutely. Any vehicle or asset that Azuga tracks, we can include in schedule maintenance as well.
Okay. Any more questions from anyone? We're still going to be taking a few more questions. If not, then we can also answer your questions separately or via email after the webinar. Just to let you guys know, we will be also sending a recording of this webinar in an email. So please feel free to forward it to your friends and colleagues. Don't forget to share it on social media with hashtag AzugaGPS. That is hashtag AZUGAGPS. Okay. If you have any kind of feedback or questions.
I see one more question. Looks like it came in from Robert.
I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
It came in the chat. What is it? Robert, he said, will the system automatically send an email when the service is due? Yes, Robert. So the way we do it, when we set up a service entry in the system, you can set the alert to go to the email or text message to the person concerned at the time before the service is due that you like. So it's going to give you a warning whenever it's overdue, but it's also going to send an alert. You can send it, a few days, a few weeks, or even a certain amount of miles or engine hours before the service is due.
We have one more question, I think it's from Bandy. Can you add as many vehicles as you'd like to the database, or is there a limit?
As far as the scheduled maintenance, there's no limit to the amount of vehicles. It's as many vehicles as are subscribed. Scheduled maintenance, you can add to that.
Okay. Great. All right. If you have any other feedback or questions, please feel free to reach us at info@azuga.com. I don't think we have any more questions from anyone else. So once again, thank you for joining.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Sorry.
There's one real quick general question from Robert. He was asking if we have the app available for iPhone for being able to see drivers' locations. Yes, that is available there.
I think, should we wait for a couple of more minutes if we have a few more questions coming up?
Just to make sure, I'm okay with that. And otherwise, like I said, we can always answer them offline as well.
Perfect. So we wait a couple of minutes. We'll see if there's a few more questions coming up, and then, yeah, the other ones we can take them offline.
Okay.
Okay. I don't see anything. Do you have anything on your chat, Nick?
I think I'm good.
Okay, perfect. All right, then. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining us, and special thanks to Nick Mora. We look forward to seeing you all again on another Azuga webinar. And like I said again, we will be sending a recording of this webinar in an email. Please feel free to forward it to your friends and colleagues. Thank you, everyone, and have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Thanks.